Hi everyone, thank you for watching again. This video is a review on the new Beauty Bay Smoky palettes. This is the look that I am creating for the video today, so it is more of a smoky, glam sort of shimmer look. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see any other looks from this palette here, do let me know and I'll be happy to create some more content. But I hope you enjoy this video and thank you for watching. Today I'm trying out a few new products from a brand called Beauty Bay. I've bought quite a few products from them before which I really enjoy, so I'm very excited about this new product they have come out with. So this is an eyeshadow palette. I have been looking for one of these for a while of this specific tone. I find a lot of eyeshadow palettes on the market now tend to be a lot warmer, whereas this has got a lot more of a cooler tone, which is more rare and I feel like will look very nice on my sort of skin tone. So I thought I'd try this one out today, so I'll show you which product it is. So this is the product here. It is the Beauty Bay Smoky palette. I did buy a couple of palettes, so I've got this one which is their main palette. This one retails for £25 and you do get 42 shades in the palette. So hopefully you can see this here, but as you can see it is a very much more cool toned palette. You've got a lot of mattes at the top, you've got a main row of shimmers in the middle, and then there's a mixture of them both at the bottom. So I do feel like you do get a good mixture between mattes and shimmers. Sometimes a lot of eyeshadow palettes tend to have a lot more shimmers in, whereas I feel like I do use mattes a lot more. So I feel like there is a good variety of both in this palette. Along with the big palette, I did also get a little mini palette. So in this one here, you do get 16 shades, which is a lot better for travelling. So this is the mini palette. You do get more shimmers in this one. So there are 7 matte colours and then the rest are shimmers, so 9 shimmers. So this is what this one looks like here. Again, it's got a lot more of the cooler tones in, but I like that it has a variety of the lights and darks in this palette. So the smaller palette does retail for £14. However, I bought both of them together and I think it was around £29.40. It was around the £30 mark anyway. So I thought for the value of money, I'd get them both because I do love the shades and I feel like I would use this a lot as a travel palette. So I've not used this palette yet, I have been waiting. As you can see, I have nothing on my eyes. I've already done my base, so I am going to be testing out the palette today. I'm going to create a smoky eye look and then give my review at the end of how I found all of the pigments and eyeshadows performed in creating the look. Okay, so I have zoomed you in, so hopefully you can see me a little bit better now. So as you can see, I have nothing on my eyes at the minute, so I am going to test out all of the eyeshadows today. I'm going to create a sort of smoky eye look, probably going a little bit lighter on the inner corner to a darker smoky colour on the outer corner. So to start off with, I'm going in with my P. Louise base in Rumour 02 and I'm popping this on a flat brush and just going to put this all over the eye. So I am just going to pop this all over the eye. I'm going underneath the eyebrow and then all over the eyelid. And this is just going to act like a base for when I put the eyeshadow on top. So I am just then going to pat that over the top with my beauty blender just to make sure that's all blended in over my eye evenly. Now going in with the palette, I'm starting off with the shade Marble, which is this one at the top here, and I'm going to create a sort of transition shade going through my crease. So I popped a little bit of this on my brush and I'm just going to brush that all along the crease, creating that transition shade. I am then just bringing this up slightly underneath the eyebrow as well. Then obviously whatever I do on this eye, I am going to do the same on the other eye. So I've added a little bit of that just on the top of my crease. I feel like it blended out really smoothly and did a nice even coat of colour. So now I'm going to deepen that a little bit more. So to deepen it, I am going in more into my crease again and I'm going to use the shade Sketch, which is this one here. So I'm just going to pop that on the outer corner. And then I am going to sort of tuck that more into the crease. Then taking that big fluffy brush to blend it out. This shade here was very pigmented when it went on, but it is blending out really smoothly still, as you can see. So it is giving a really nice bit of colour. I feel like you don't have to layer these too much. So I've added a little bit of that on the other eye as well. I am keeping it more on the outer corner because I want to really highlight the inner corner of the eye and keep that outer corner a lot sort of deeper and darker. To darken that even more and make it really, really dramatic, I'm going in with the shade Nightmare, which is this really deep, almost blue colour, and I'm going to put that on the very, very outer corner of my eye. So again, taking a very, very small brush, I'm just going to pop that on the very outer corner here. I feel like it's not as pigmented as the last colour I put on, but sometimes with a darker colour it's nicer that you have to build them up because they can have a lot of fallout if they're very pigmented from the start. So blending that out again with my big fluffy brush, and I do really like this shade because I feel like it adds that little bit more of a depth of colour. It makes it a little bit more of that blue tone. So I'm going back in with a smaller brush. I feel like the big fluffy brush did blend the blue colour away a little bit, so I am just going to focus this more with that smaller brush. So you can see that it has added that depth to this eye that little bit more than without that dark blue shade. So that's that dark blue shade. I do really like it. I feel like it is a bit more temperamental of a colour to apply. I had to work more carefully with it. If I blended it too much, I did feel like it blended the colour away and sort of made it a lot lighter, more like that second transition shade. So I would say with the darker colour called Midnight, it works a lot better on a smaller brush, and packing that colour in with minimal blending did work best for that shade. I think I am going to add a little bit of black because I really want to see how another dark shade works. So I'm adding the black from the palette in the shade Tattoo, and I'm using a tiny bit of this because a lot just came onto my brush. So the black is very, very pigmented. I've just done a light sort of tap there, and you can see that it does add quite a bit of colour. So I am going to go in very, very lightly with this black. And I'm going to see as well how this one blends out with a big fluffy brush. So I do feel like the black colour blended a lot better than the Midnight blue colour did with the big fluffy brush. I don't know whether it's because of the blue pigment that made it sort of blend away a little bit more, but the black definitely blends well with the little brush and this big fluffy brush. So that black colour has added so much more drama and definition, so I really do like that one. So that's how all the dark colours are working, and so far I really, really do like the palette. I feel like I don't need to dip in a lot to get the colours out. They are very, very pigmented. I would say I had a bit of issue with that Midnight colour, but once I realised the little brush worked best with it, it still worked absolutely fine, so I do really like this so far. I'm then going to go in with another P. Louise base in the shade Rumour 0. So this one is a pure white, and what I'm going to do is create a place to put that lighter shimmer colour. So I'm going to do almost like a cut crease, but not too dramatic of a cut crease. Taking that again on my big flat brush, I'm just going to pop this all on the very inner corner of the eye. So I'm going to keep it just over halfway into the eye. So that is how that is looking there. Hopefully you can see that. It's just going to give a lot more dimension and a better base for the shimmers to sit on. Okay, so I've just done that now on both eyes, as you can see. So we're going to start off with the shimmers. I'm very, very excited. So I'm going to start off on the inner corner with a very light shimmer. I think I'm going to go in with Fairy, which is the brightest white in the palette. And shimmers always apply better with your finger, so I am going to apply this with my finger. So that's Fairy. It's not blinding, I would say it's not like crazy white, but it is a very smooth colour, and it does give a nice bit of shimmer to the eye. So that's that one. I'll describe that as alright. It is alright. I wouldn't say it's massively blinding. I would like it a little bit whiter, a little bit more shimmery, but it's alright. It's okay. So the next one I'm going in with is called Seltzer, and it's this very metallic silver shade here. Very excited to see how this one turns out. They do feel very smooth. That one looks like it picks up a lot more pigment than the white one did. So let's give this a go. Okay, so that one does have a really nice good bit of pigment to it. And it has got a lot more of that, almost that metallic pigment. So we're going to deepen that even more. I'm going to go in with another shade. I think I'm going to go in with more of a blue tone shade, so we can try another one. So I'm going in with Glass. And this one again is a shimmer, but more of a bluey shimmer. So I'm going to see how that compares with the matte blue and see if it is pigmented. And this is going on the outer part of the eye, so around here. So that is probably my favourite shimmer yet. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's just gone on with a lot of pigment straight away. I don't know whether the bluey tone in it has helped, but by far my favourite shimmer yet. So I love that blue tone. I think that's my favourite shade of the palette that I've used so far, so I really love that one. That one's like a straight up 10 out of 10, like it's made such a difference. I'm just going to go back in with that second shade that I used to deepen up the crease on a fluffy brush and sort of blend those colours together just along where I did my second eyeshadow base. Okay, so that is how that is looking there. I'm then going to add a bit more definition. I'm taking an angled brush and I'm going to take the shade Onyx, which is not as dark as the black one, but the one next to it, and I'm going to use that as a liner. So I'm just popping this all along my lash line. And this has got really good pigment to it as well. It's not like a pure black, but it has got a lot of pigment, but it's not designed to be a pure black. It's slightly lighter, so I do like this one. So put that all along my lash line. I really, really love that shade. It's giving that nice line look. It's not like an obvious black, which is what I like about it. It's a bit more complementary, so it doesn't just sort of look too harsh. Sometimes I find just using black is so harsh and it takes away from the eyeshadow colours. So it's that little bit more of a deep grey. To go with it, I'm using my Morphe pencil in Locket to use this in my waterline. It's more of a blue shade, so I think, again, it'll be very complementary. So I've just put some of that blue shade in the waterline at the bottom. I'm then going back in with Sketch, again, that second shade, and popping that all along the outer corner of my bottom part of my eye. Then to deepen that again, I'm going in with that Nightmare, which is the blue, and popping that on the outer corner. So this was the blue that I found didn't work with the big blendy brush, but it seems again to be working well with a little flat brush, so it definitely is more of a condensed brush sort of shade. So to test another light shimmer, I'm going to go in with Wings, which is more of a warm tone, quite a light shimmer on the inner corner. I find this one's a lot more pigmented than that Fairy shade. I don't know if you can see that, but that is definitely more pigmented than the light Fairy shade. So I would say, if you want a brighter inner corner, use the shade Wings rather than Fairy. So I'm just going to pop on a little bit of black mascara to complement this look and come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to quickly get into my final thoughts. So overall, I did find the palette was a very, very nice palette to use. There was a lot of pigment there. I found that you could build up colours quite easily. I would say that some of the pigments weren't as blinding or bright as I thought they would be. I still did very much enjoy them, but I feel like you either had to build them up more than I may have liked, or you had to be more careful with blending them out, as it did take away the colour. So that's just something to bear in mind. I did find that all the colours did blend nicely together, and they are all very true to being cool toned. I find sometimes you do buy cool tone palettes and they do come out warm. Overall, I would recommend, I think for £25 for the big palette, you get lots of shades. They are very, very pigmented, they work really well, and it was very quick and easy to create this look, so it didn't take me much time at all. I think they're very easy to use. They're good for makeup kits because they're quite compact. They're good if you want to start off with makeup. But I would say I recommend this palette. It's a really, really good price. It's good value for money. And I feel like the look it created is very, very enjoyable. I do love a smoky look, which I've not done for ages because no one's brought out a palette like this. So I really, really love the colour tone of this palette. I can't wait to try it out some more, possibly try more shades. If you have got any looks you'd like me to create with this palette, do let me know and I'll create some. So I hope this has helped. If you're considering buying the palette, I would recommend it. If you have any questions about it at all, let me know. This is not sponsored at all, but I do very much love my palette that I've got. So I will recommend it again and again, and I can't wait to try out more looks with it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you had a really, really enjoyable time. I hope this has been educational. I will see you in my next video. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Thank you again, and goodbye.